I would definitely have to say that one of my favorite aspects about the Star Wars sequel trilogy has all to do with the concept of flashbacks created by J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, I don't know if you guys knew this, but we do know that J.J. Abrams will be bringing back the concept of flashbacks in Star Wars Episode 9, just as he did with The Force Awakens, the same exact concept that Rian Johnson picked up and did in a totally different way in Star Wars The Last Jedi. Now, looking at everything that we have been learning about Episode 9 these past couple of weeks or so when it comes to some of the set leaks, the set designs, the concept art and storyboard descriptions, etc., one of which has all to do with Luke Skywalker and Ben Solo. Specifically, a description of Luke Skywalker in front of a Jedi temple. It appears to be the same one seen in Episode 8. Luke is standing in front of Ben Solo. Luke here looks the same as he did in the flashbacks to The Last Jedi. Luke is holding up his lightsaber hilt while it's ignited in front of Ben Solo. In the other hand of Luke, he holds Ben Solo's lightsaber hilt and hands it to him. The next goes over Ben Solo with a blue ignited blade in front of him, as both Luke and Ben are looking at each other face to face, with their sabers activated. The last goes over a distant shot of the temple with both Luke and Ben locking lightsaber blades together. This appears to be a training session. Now, this to me, honestly, guys, sounds amazing. And if it does end up in the final cut of the movie, I think a lot more fans out there are really going to enjoy the concept of uncle and nephew and both Luke and Ben Solo and exactly what they did on this mysterious planet and exactly how Ben became a quote-unquote Jedi, or was at least training to become one. And that is one thing that we have yet to see, right? It's a very interesting piece in the Star Wars timeline that remains a complete mystery as of right now. You know, in The Last Jedi, we do hear that line of dialogue by Luke Skywalker, when Luke says, you know, I sensed it during his training. Now, we've never seen his training. What kind of techniques did Luke Skywalker use with his nephew Ben? It seems as so that they actually fought against each other with lightsabers themselves, and this kind of reminds me of a movie called Batman Begins, when Ra's al Ghul is going up against Bruce Wayne on, of course, the frozen lake with the mountains around them. It's an amazing sequence. If you guys do recall that scene, that's exactly how I'm imagining this right now. So when it comes to the Jedi Temple, this is the thing here. We do know that this temple is strictly a training temple only. Now, we're not quite sure if Luke Skywalker is the one who built it with his new generation of Jedi, or if this Jedi temple has been there for ages and Luke Skywalker just came across it. Now, if you guys read the novelization to The Last Jedi, you will learn that he kept this temple a complete secret. Nobody other than his own family actually knew about where Luke Skywalker was training his new generation of Jedi in order to prevent what happened during, of course, Order 66. Now, ultimately, unfortunately, the same exact thing pretty much did happen. You know, his whole entire new generation of Jedi was slaughtered. It's pretty much assumed at this point that the students that Kylo Ren took from Luke are actually going to be the Knights of Ren in Star Wars Episode 9, and that is actually the case. That means that the Knights of Ren are Force sensitive. Pretty cool, right? Now, if you look at Episode 9 specifically, we do know that J.J. Abrams is going to be throwing in a lot of twists and turns and surprises for the fans around the world. And I think that if they are to explore, you know, the Knights of Ren as being Luke's Jedi students, or his previous new generation of Jedi that converted to the dark side of the Force, that would be truly amazing. It would make the Knights of Ren a whole lot more interesting if they do have these connections to Luke Skywalker. And I think it's one of the big reasons as to why a lot of people have, well, I would say, a big interest in those groups of characters, you know? There's a total of 6 of them, not counting Kylo Ren, of course, and nobody really knows much about them, and they are coming back in Episode 9. We're not quite sure how significant they will be in this movie, but it's pretty much said that they are going to have a large role in Episode 9 because they've been training to do a lot of different scenes and sequences with Adam Driver, so I think it's pretty safe to say that they at least have in or around a half an hour in Star Wars Episode 9. Now, looking at everything here when it comes to this movie by JJ, you know, the other thing that I do want to focus on is some people out there do dislike flashbacks, and that's totally understandable. When we think about the character of Luke, we want to see these moments when he's actually alive, and I totally understand that. However, if it has to be in the form of a flashback, whatever way Disney and Lucasfilm, JJ and crew have to do this, in order to give us a living Luke Skywalker on screen, if that has to be in the form of a flashback, so be it. You know, because I just want to see Luke doing something amazing in this movie, and honestly, seeing him training his nephew Ben Solo is one thing for sure, but I definitely want to see him fighting somebody someday. Whether it's going to be in Star Wars Episode 9, or if they can manage to do this, quite possibly at another time in the future, which I don't think they're going to. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.